Okay, so train your plant. Hey, train your plants every day. Got me coming at you from the STEM lab this morning. So I wanted to put this out here because I have some material for Prosky's done. I started a book model for him, or a lodge stick for him. I posted up some pictures last night, and I just wanted to go through the detail today. And I think this makes a good satire. It was either going to be this or finding the biggest gorilla in the Congo and going toe to toe with it. I figured pack your chute, right? We'll get into this thing, right? Kick it right off. Here, let's go. No, I didn't want to do that. We'll fix that.
A lot of people
So I like
ask
your
me
work.
how
It's been a while
hard
since
Jump
I've seen a
Master
really, really
School.
good one
Let
from
me
you.
answer by discussing prerequisites,
Life's a Special
the Jump
Operation.
Master pretest,
Now, I think
school
Ted,
options,
he served in the
food,
Navy, if I've
sleep,
heard
and physical
correctly.
training, the curriculum, testing requirements, and stress training.
Fire control technician. My brother's in the Navy. He going for petty chief or petty officer, and he was a chief. He was trying for chief or something. I don't know. And I know my brother. I know my very well. He's intelligent. He knows what he's doing when it comes to his stuff. He'd probably do well. I don't think he can outpush me or outrun me. However, when it comes to like that kind of level on it and stuff like that, I can't know, but I would imagine it's gotta be something like this. You're gonna get a lot of the same damn animosity that you had in the mill. Two brothers named Larry standing next to each other. What's gonna happen? It's a lot of uncertainty on packing your chute, going toe to toe with the biggest gorilla you can find in the Congo. So in here, what I have is my 2022 day planner, and this is just something I picked up from Delhi. It's like figure out how long you're here. Write out a month. Fill in the gap as you're going. That'll keep you on track for the day. Let you know what Monday is, whether it's the first or the second. So not really super practical, but sometimes without it, you hit the ground hard. You be running around in the mill. Fuck, what day is it? I gotta look on this thing and get out your cell phone, and all of a sudden, you hit the ground. All of a sudden. So without having November and December in here, it's like I'm looking too far out in front of it. I'm not staying clean to quarters. The numbers wouldn't come out the right way. And again, you didn't pack your chute, you'll hit the ground. You didn't trust your unit. So life really is a special operation, you guy like me. I do McDonald's Special Forces training. You play it hunting rabbits. You could play it just there's a woman down in there. I want a job. I trying to put those things together. You put it together.
Jump Master course include the following.
So I have a master chart in here of the cants and the Q. A Q for me would be one common or two common because we put them on the same board. You just grade it all for one common, and then if there's a higher probability of two common in there, or two faces are good or something, you just range that thing. Remember, this isn't to hit the number. You want to hit the over by being under.
And you must pass the
And
Jump Master pretest.
so again, like I said, you could ask for these numbers. Hell, you could bernoulli if you want. Not the count. Can't count. But as far as what the hypothetical value for a price matrix that you can put into this, I've done dollars. I've done a penny a rock over Augustins, and it starts to eventually you'll get to, well, that's actually what my pay is times averages of what everybody else's are, and you start doing the math on this. And again, this isn't to be a dick. Remember, there's a bit of a joke about taking on the biggest gorilla in King Kong Congo over there, but in a way, that's how you have to go about it. It's crazy like that, but it's the truth. Now, how you get in there is an important thing about actually beating him.
And all of your colleagues are going
and so Ted would have something, Ted, Pete, all the other guys, they got something like this done. It's in the office somewhere. It's taken probably years for them to put it together over a very long time. And I'm going to push you like a jump master here. I'm going to push you, say, in order for us to condense this to Gresham's Law and inflation, the learning curve, technology expansion and growth for Paul Bunyan and Blue and the stone mills and equipment and stuff like that, we have an issue in Houston.
I wouldn't go so far as to call them badge protectors.
And inside here,
but
I just did the, we'll get back to this here. I did big days with like the November and December where I'll have to map them out on it. Just by doing it and keeping it in there to keep you on track of something. You know, what you'll find later might turn into other page variables on this, which from here I could just take the other 48 months out of the year, or weeks out of the year, and just write them down in the same chart. That's not what I'm doing here. Once I did the days, then I did bi-daily on one page, and it's a week in this, and it finishes off with a price matrix. And then I put a full week, 5 work days in there with just the price, sheet, or whatever it is here. And we're going to use this this price matrix on one of these graphs again. They're real close together. I want you to learn the fundamentals. This should take you 2 weeks to do. Plus, you'll be running, finding L brackets, getting numbers and stuff. So I'm not gonna say I'd push them to it, but let's say they needed motivation. They needed a task. They needed something that says, look, he's got 3 kids, and inside of here, eventually for a crew guy like me, I'd look at that piece of equipment and go, well, that's kind of overclocking it. I know you don't believe me. But let's take a look at this and see what we can do to work out the gear forces a little more correctly, so we're not getting a chain whip problem and other things. I know that in the factory, if it works good, you don't have any service manufactural breakdowns, which this will get into. You know, on our second day, our second week, I didn't need to do this. This is all Ted's choice. He'd come back and say, let's redo Shangri-La. I like some of the stuff that you're doing, but that's not exactly the technique that I'd want. This is just the kind of loose lit quote tattoo design, and then we'll talk about this. This is building. This is being Master Masons. This is Master Jump guy, and this is how hard the school will be, because these things all seem like they're super easy concepts, and to a certain degree, they are fairly easy. Jump out of a plane. It is 9.8 meters per second. The big part is the chute, and
I don't remember this test being hard at all. And then there is practical
and that's
work
the stacker's duties, and it really is. And I don't mean to undersell this. I have absolutely a lot of respect for Airborne. It's up there with the Guard and Horsemen and Paris Island for me. So there are still some issues with it all, but in the sense here, you will get to, again, stacker's duty to the line. You know, we're just going to get here to, oh, there's a bishop grader, a knight head stacker, you're a pawn over here, and you might have a rook. But given your date with initials to tell you to split up the crew out of that pot, that's really what it is. Gravity makes it nice with an X dollar wage. And to a certain degree, if you ever have a business, you're going to want to do this while they're learning this, right? Before you can get nitty-gritty with risk and stuff like that for overtime. Time is paid out that risk in Z-Coin for some reason, and you get doing that.
This is where the jump master inspects the paratrooper and his or her combat equipment to ensure that it is safe. Back on the teams, we usually spend 3 minutes per person to thoroughly and safely do a JMPI.
So what comes next in here, I'm not really sure. I mean, once I have the first month here done, I can make a break. I know that I'm not going to go daily, so this is going to at least take 52, or well, another, not quite 52. The math on this is actually quite difficult to figure out. I have 3 devoted pages, starting with dailies, then I do a week version of it, or bi-dailies together, then I put a whole week together on a page. And so now that I'm capped out there, let's say I got another 48 weeks to go. Now I need 48 half pages. 48 half pages with, out of 117, I don't know. So it'll give me another 50 some half pages or 25 whole pages or something like that. And so you're doing that math. So how do you want to do it? You want to slide a training manual at the back end of a month of a skill that you want them to learn for the course of a year in a 5-year Master Masonry? I'll kick you out the plane.
Jumping out of an airplane beats having a real job. But it is even more fun when you are sticking your head out of the ramp
and anyways,
looking for the drop zone release signals.
We can make that a lot of different things. I mean, if there need to be a mechanical service, that happened a lot. It's good to have the teardown for it. And you want to give it to a kid. You don't want to give it to Don the mechanic who's been getting his dick kicked in forever. You want to use that to,
Please subscribe if you want to keep on learning.
You can do the task, but that doesn't ever mean that you're going to get that. It's like, and this is a great way to kind of put that in front of their hands. Because I'm not going to take it away from Don on his hillside, right? You can take this theoretical virtual particle with you. I'm going to allow you to do it once, and that's more about what you did. Yeah, you did the physical action. But in there, because you're not going to be doing everything, make that write-out, because that write-out will be forever. That write-out will be you working with Don, figuring out how Don liked it done. Don went over it and serviced it and kicked it around. Back your shoe. And so how we're going to go about, how I'm going to do about that, fuck everybody else. I might ask questions later and figure things out, but I want you to keep that kind of mathematics in your brain. I know it was only 10 minutes here, but let's see if we can find another one. I know I broke it the other day. I had a good one for it. See if we can find it real quick. Zach, he did a really good one on like the hyperbolic. I think I did this one.
This video was sponsored by Brilliant. As I'm sure pretty much everyone watching this knows,
so this bubble he's going to talk about is going to be tension. This is 1 over pi and some. Don't pay attention to this. We're not really dealing with the type of computer engineering, chemistry, and other things. There's a rabbit down range on the glass. I have. It could be a rabbit, a deer, a bird. X squared. I could have a slingshot, 35, a 22. And if you mark your feet in the windage out there, the curvature, the rifling in that thing, or not rifling in that thing,
however,
are these write-outs? It's, again, trying to figure out the time scale on that. From here, we have a multiple option. We have no gravity work with no Larry or Mario in the field to... Well, that'll help make reality. That'll help make some fixed points inside here. But here we have no clue. But the answer is they will X. X equals EX. Larry with a gun. John with a gun. A gun with Larry. They are going to work inverted and do those other things inside. Let's separate some of the factors. Just the gun will deal with some of the math on this. Now, if you split it all down, there might be a reasonable action for that. If you take Kentucky ballistics 50 cal explosion. Now, over time, it would be just an IE, but IH.
And of course, e to the x
50 cal rounds are supposed to go the same decibel every single time. They shouldn't have hot loads or low loads in them. In a series of polarized versions, it should all be the same thing, so something's going to happen. Now, I don't blame Kentucky Blizzard. It's 3 shots and it explodes on you. That kind of clears your negligence inside of the situation. Equally, like this would clear a lot of that loss, wasted, diminishing return, human error, and other things that can come into these when they're under gravity like that. And you get a piece of that if your name's on it. So in dimensional analysis, we're trying to figure out what exactly this is, because in the day charts are the weeklies cherry, ash, cherry, ash, cherry, hard maple, soft maple, ash. They still all do a value. Length times width
And the negative is here because force is opposite of
times height is going to give you a different value. If there are thicknesses differences inside of here,
However,
if there's length differences in there, if there's sample
to the
quality
right, the spring applied the
differentials
same
inside of there,
magnitude of force, KX,
and they all
in the
kind of lead to a
same
different
direction,
price
it
matrix
just
that
causes
you would
the block
put in
to
that
accelerate to the
large
right
price
forever.
matrix in the back.
Then we'd model it with
12,
this equation,
14,
which is the same
10,
with a
8
positive KX,
for cherry,
and this matches the
and
differential
cants, and I
equation
have
we
all
see
the
here.
other S
So
common
the
boards
solution
in there
would
where
be
you
a
write down that
hyperbolic
row,
cosine
or
sine
you
curve.
figure out,
It
well,
wouldn't
that's
be
the price of the
parabolic like a
shittiest one.
constantly
The
accelerating
most
rocket,
expensive one is
and it
this.
wouldn't be purely exponential
Inside of those
like
things,
this,
it should be
but it
sensible.
would
They say
be
footage
close.
to
It
this,
would
but
actually
sometimes
approach
those
the
algorithms gets a little bit
exponential
more
curve as an
compounded,
asymptote.
huh? Dealing with 11-foot treads comparatively to
Alright, that's
4-foot
not a real
treads,
application,
you
but at least in school,
do
I
different
only learned
things.
that, hey, it's called hyperbolic
You
trig
pack your
because it
shoe.
has trig-like properties.